Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, good
Hello.
evening,
Good
everyone.
evening. How are
Good
you?
evening.
Good
And
evening, sir.
thank you very much for this opportunity to um, throw some lights on what we do as surveyors, particularly the Land Surveying Division of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. As you all know, and as the president said, surveyor president said, we have 3 divisions in the institution, and the land surveying division is made up of a branch of professionals whose duty is to provide a base data for the construction industry. And it's not just the provision of base data for the construction industry, but also managing that data for several purposes. And the nature of our work is such that we play quite a lot and a significant role when it comes to the construction industry. Surveyors use varying technology to collect data for the various applications, as I have said, that help in the construction environment. Those who know the survey background, or those who have the survey background, will know that we have ground surveying, we have satellite surveying, we have digital image processing, we have remote sensing, we have GIS, and all other techniques for taking measurements. Now, when you come to the GHIS as a professional body, it is made up of surveyors or land surveyors from several disciplines. Those with the background of remote sensing and photogrammetry, those that have engineering surveying background, those with cartography, geodesy, hydrography, cadastral surveying, GIS, and of course, land administration. Basically, what do we do? Those with the land surveying, typical land surveying background, our core duty is to prepare large-scale topographic maps as a base map for planning, for engineering works, and for all other professions that need information about of the ground for their design. So you see surveyors doing setting out of buildings. You see surveyors setting out roads. You see surveyors providing layout for the planners to do their designs, or the base map for planners to do the layout. And subsequently, these layouts will be set out on the ground in the form of plots, and individuals will just go and acquire them and then register them. As I said earlier on, in engineering surveying, you find surveyors doing road designs. Apart from collecting the core data, they also provide information for designing, and some of them do road designs itself. When you go to the mining sector, you will find surveyors doing surface mining or underground mining. When you go to water resource management, you'll find surveyors doing surveying for irrigation. Sewage transportation, you will find surveyors there. Construction of dams, you'll find surveyors there. Our work doesn't only end there. After the measurement, after the setting out, after the provision of topographic map, and after setting out the structures, and after the construction, surveyors again measure the performance of these structures. So you find land surveyors doing deformation measurement and analysis so that they will know whether the structures have gotten some structural deformity as a result of the stress that are put on them. Sometimes when we have underground facilities, such as sewage, electric pipelines, and all those things, surveyors also try to trace them and map them to identify where these facilities are located. Now, one of the popular work that we do as surveyors is cadastral surveying. We provide sectional maps. We help the valuers to do acquisition survey and land administrators to do acquisition survey. Sometimes when our boundaries are not or cannot be found, we retrace these boundaries and we do boundary demarcation. Sometimes when they are doing compensation and others, we do land consolidation. And sometimes when we want to resettle some other group of people, maybe as a result of development, you will find surveyors there. We are also much involved in identifying boundaries of the sea. You can remember that recently Ghana had an issue with Ivory Coast on the nautical boundaries, and our surveyors were quite involved in it. Members of our professions were seriously involved in those activities. And as I said earlier on, we are not in this group of land surveyors for nothing, because I've provided information that we give to the quantity surveyors, and then the one that we surveyors also give to the engineers. But again, for those from the valuation side, we produce information that helps them to be able to identify the kind of rights that are on the land, provide information for resolution of conflicts, and then do land valuation in general. So in a nutshell, what I want to say is that anything that has to do with land, anything that requires information on the land, where land means the normal land that we know and see, and then we have the airspace, you will find surveyors there. So based on this background, you will see that our activities cut across several institutions and professions. So as students of the surveying profession, I'm sure you want to know which industries that you can work. I will tell you a few of them based on the information that I have given to you earlier on. So you can work in the roads and highways, water and sewage, irrigation, the telecommunication industry, electricity, mining, oil and gas industry, and you set up yourself as a private surveyor as well. the Ports and Harbor, Environmental Protection Agency, Forestry, Town and Country Planning, Lands Commission, and more importantly, I'm stressing more importantly, you can work as a teacher of the surveying profession, as some of us are doing, just to provide knowledge to others. So as the president said, you have chosen a very good profession and you will never regret for joining this profession. What is important is that you take your practicals seriously and you work towards being a full member when you are finished with your what do you call it, your professional, not sorry, your training from the university. And we are ready as a division to welcome you to join us so that we can enhance the surveying profession and make Ghana very proud. So I'll end here and leave the rest to you as questions. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you very much, Surveyor Dr. Antonia Adjei. We are grateful for the lecture. I think so far, all the things we need to know about the Land Surveying Division of GHIS has been given to us by our survey doctor. So we are much grateful to him. I've got notification that some of you want to ask questions. That's in case you might forget at the end of the whole program. So I'll pave way for some questions so that Surveyor Dr. Adjei will address them quickly. So please, if you have any question, just give me a raise of hand alert, and then I'll call you, and then you'll mute your microphone, and then you ask your question. If anyone has a question, you can just alert me by a raise of hand, and then we call you to ask your questions. Any question for Surveyor Dr. Adjei? Any question for Surveyor Dr. Adjei before we call the next speaker?
I think there are 2 hands up.
Yes, please. So the one with the hand up, kindly unmute. Yeah. Yes, please. Kindly, Adjei, kindly unmute your microphone and then ask your question. Surveyor Dr. Adjei is on the line to answer you.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm a land economy student, so I want to know how surveying is linked to land economy.
Okay. Do you want to ask the second question so that I can answer them? Yeah, so that we can.
So Dennis, I think Dennis answers up. Dennis, ask your second question. Our doctor addresses both of them at the same time. Yeah.
Hello, thanks for this opportunity. Like, I was having some unstable internet connection. I didn't get some fast. He was saying that we should try as much as possible to try and get into the Ghana Institute of Surveying before we complete school. So I would like if we could go back and explain that point for me again.
Dennis, can you repeat your question?
Like I said, we were saying that we should try as much as possible to get into the Ghana Institute of Surveying before we complete school. And I'm asking how, because that part I didn't get it. I was having some unstable internet connection. So I'm asking how are we going to get ourselves into the Ghana Institute of Surveying before we complete school?
Okay, Dr. Adjei, please, have you got the question now, please?
All right. Let me answer Dennis first. I think your question was directed towards what Surveyor President said. He said that there are new policies or avenues, let me put it that way, for students, surveyors to become members of our institution when they complete school. And what he said was that we are trying to make a way such that during your national service, you can use your national service as a training so that your entry into the full membership of the institution will not be that. Instead of waiting, what we have observed is that when students complete school, they stay and stay and stay, and after some years, they haven't even applied for membership. But now what we want to do is that if you are a student member and you are active member, then it means that you can progress after your national service or during your national service. You can join as a trainee member and then follow the route and then become a full member. That was what he was trying to say. I'm sure my other colleagues may, or if the president is around, he can throw more light on that.
That's perfectly so.
Thank you, my president. All right. The question to Adjei. I said that we have not been, the three divisions have not been put together just for nothing, because we are much related in the activities that we do. For land economy, what do? You do land administration, you do land governance, and you do land valuation, right? And all these kind of profession or professional activities are based on land information. For example, if you are going to do valuation, you are required to know the property, the location of the property, the size of the property. And these information are key for valuation. If you want to resolve conflict as a land administrator, conflict between two people on boundary, the surveyor is required to provide you with the boundaries of the disputed area, and you use, as a land economist or a quantity surveyor who is versed in arbitration, you will use that information and try to resolve conflict. So there are so many ways that the surveyor is related to, the land surveyor is related to the land economist. In other words, LSD is related to the VES. All right. I don't know if I've answered you well.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Anthony Adjei. Please, any question before Dr. puts himself to rest? Any question for Dr. Anthony Adjei? Kindly show by a raise of hand so that you'll be called to ask your question. Okay, I think at the answer.
I think there is a question on the platform. Somebody asked, and I'm sure I will leave it with Surveyor, my big boss, Surveyor Zinzi, for him to answer. So maybe after his presentation, he will answer that. If you are a real estate student and you master in quantity surveying, can you join GHIS? Right? Okay. Oh, you want us to answer it now?
Yes, please. I would wish you answer so that we can proceed.
Okay. Your first degree is in real estate, right? Which is the VES. So we on our route, we have what we call the core area. and your first degree is in the VES, which is the core area of the VES, and your second degree is in quantity surveying. So as for joining the GHIS, you qualify to join, but I don't know which years that you have to start, because it depends on your first degree and your second degree, and I think I will leave that one with Sylvia Zinzi. When he comes, he will help you to answer that question. Okay.
Tony, let's clear that one. Let's clear that one before the gentleman leaves. I'm just saying that the gentleman can come through one of these divisions, but not both. You can come to one of these divisions, but not both. And whichever division you enter through, you practice the profession of that division. You cannot be there and be practicing both. So it's a choice that you have to make. But whichever one you choose at the end of the day, you will be asked to do 2 years training, because both degrees are not from the same source. So if you go to being trained for 2 years, if you come to VA, there also you have to be trained for 2 years. So invariably, yes, you are welcome, but you can only come through one of the divisions, and that.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Zinzi, for the explanation. I think there's one question on the platform, and I don't know whether Dr. Zinzi or Dr. Adjei will address it. The person is asking that, please, can you do your master's as a civil engineering, in civil engineering, if you're a quantity surveying student?
Okay, let me take it. In fact, you realize that this question is not related to surveying issue anyway. This has to do with degrees. This has to do with degrees. The institution doesn't admit you to come and do civil engineering. The institution admits trade. I know some quantity surveyors. One is in the department, has to do with a degree. If any university is able to admit you to come and do civil engineering after you have done quantity surveying, that is with the university. So this question has to do with universities, but not the GHIS. But we do not have a problem if you have civil engineering as part of your qualification, but you have quantity surveying. Yes, we will admit you. And that's what I've just said, that there is one particular person I know who has a degree in both, but he's practicing as a quantity person. He lectures in the construction management department, and he's also a fellow of the institution.
Okay. Does Dr. Nani want to add something to that?
Yes, I think Zinzi has said it. Surveyor Zinzi has said it. But then with foreign universities, they may admit a quantity surveying person to do civil engineering management, usually, but you may not end up doing the core civil engineering. That will be about just going back to study from your first degree to be more like another degree. So you can find people with quantity surveying or construction management background doing other courses like civil engineering management. Let me just stop it there, because we are dealing with Ghana Institution of Surveyors, or the professional institution for now. So we don't go into the academic degrees too much.